Ice Cube started gangster rap music. Straight up.
Ice Cube endured a childhood marred by tragedy.
Barricaded herself in the back room with her. Then they heard gunshots.
They told us Beverly died, and we all start crying.
That's when I knew that the world that I was living in was a dangerous place.
The police coming straight from the underground. A young nigga got it bad cause I'm brown.
He sparked a musical revolution with NWA.
I wanted to rap about stuff that was real.
When the police came out, you know, that was how we felt.
He was a voice to a lot of people who didn't have a voice.
I heard payback's a breath on the trigger. That's
As a solo artist, Ice Cube's blunt force raps made him a marked man.
It's pornographic smut.
I don't give a damn about dissing these fools cause they all scared of the Ice Cube.
The thing about my records, nobody's safe.
Then Ice Cube brought his message to the movies.
What you say to that? I was just like, whoa,
Turn your punk ass off.
this is going to be a good movie.
And he became a major Hollywood player.
He went from, you know, the end that you love to hate to sort of the Bill Cosby of this generation.
Man, do not take my lunch money.
But Cube's most important role has been as a dedicated husband and father.
I gotta say it was a good day.
From somebody who grew up in South Central to an empire, he's the best person to have raised.
Now Ice Cube reveals his rhyme and reason.
I rep that dub, I rep that S, I'm a monster.
Beyond the attitude,
You either gotta have it or you don't, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not having to have it.
behind the scowl. This is the story behind the music.
This my town, I run it, you walk it. That West, I rep that West, I rep that West.
March 30th, 2011. Ice Cube is in his hometown of Los Angeles.
Your voice is up, get a home. Especially all y'all dudes out there smoking them. No. Get you one, bro.
Backstage before a gig at the House of Blues, Cube is chilling with family and friends.
You are now about to witness the strength.
Let's go, come on. Get on up, get on up. Let's go, get on up. Where you coming from? Straight out of Compton. Crazy mother name Ice Cube. From the town called with attitude.
At the age of 42, Cube still commands the stage with a scowl.
So when you're in your neighborhood, you better go, dog. Cause Ice Cube is crazy as dog. As I leave,
And raps with his legendary ferocity.
I'm coming straight out of Compton.
But these days, his two sons, Doughboy and OMG, join him on stage.
Give it up for my two sons, OMG and Doughboy. A chip off the old Cube. We doing a little something like this, LA. Rock with me, baby. Come on, come on.
I never thought they'd be rocking with me. I always pictured them little, you know what I'm saying? You never picture them when they bigger than you. And they got skills, you know what I'm saying?
As soon as you hear that music, you're OMG, you're a rapper now. This isn't Dad, this is Ice Cube. You gotta rock it.
Ice Cube, baby.
And when the spotlight's off, the godfather of gangster rap skips the after party and heads right home with his family.
It's probably somebody somewhere in the club mad at me because I'm at home with my family. But for the most part, I'm going to do what I want to do. I ain't living for nobody but myself and my family.
Ice Cube has always been a family man. Born O'Shea Jackson in 1969, he grew up in South Central Los Angeles, the youngest of 4 children.
What's up, homie? Let me see what you're working with here. Let me get one of these squeeze pops. There used to be a lot of kids on the block. All the kids that moved away, I guess we grew up. We was the kids. This is the house I grew up in. Got a nice fresh paint job.
Cube's father was a groundskeeper, and his mother was a custodian. And and they raised him with solid working-class values.
O'Shea always was a good person and funny.
He was a good kid. You know, I never did have any problem riding him.
By me having my father there, he taught me how to be a man. He taught me how to be a leader and not a follower.
To a young O'Shea, South Central seemed like any other Los Angeles neighborhood.
I thought we was rich, you know what I mean? Because the neighborhood at first glance looks like a pristine place to be. It seems pretty quiet around here, but just the freaks come out at night.
In 1981, 12-year-old O'Shea was exposed to the reality of his hood for the first time when his half-sister Beverly was murdered just a few blocks away. She was 22 years old.
Her husband was depressed, and he just came back one day and barricaded herself in the back room with her. Then they heard gunshots.
We got up to the house, and they told us Beverly died. And we all started crying, and I'll never forget that day. She loved O'Shea. She was crazy about O'Shea.
That's when I knew that the world that I was living in was a dangerous place. I started hardening myself to that by that age, you know, especially when it hit so close to home.
In the mid-1980s, the crack epidemic began to ravage South Central, turning his once quiet neighborhood into a war zone. And to the local residents, the police were only aggravating the misery.
We felt the pressure from was the police harassing people, so nobody trusted the police.
But while others fell into gangs and crime, O'Shea plotted a more positive exit strategy.
I always got off on being constructive and not destructive.
Hip-hop seemed like a way out. During his sophomore year of high school, he began writing raps. And he started referring to himself as Ice Cube, a nickname his brother had given him because he was so cool with the ladies.
My name is Ice Cube, and I want you to know I'm not Run DMC or Curtis Blow. That was the first line I ever wrote. That right there, you know, it was the jump off.
In 1984, Cube teamed up with his neighbor, Sir Jinx, forming a group called CIA.
That was Jinx's house right there. We used to be in that garage right there, getting down.
Cube is a writer that can become a chameleon. So he was able to take everybody's story and implement it in a rhyme.
Ice Cube in the press, and I'm the bossy leader. Love my whooper and hate my tweeter.
It was really about party rapping at that time. You would want to rap about stuff that was fly, you know what I mean? That was the style.
Cube caught his first big break when Jinx introduced him to his cousin, Andre Young, who was a hot local DJ known as Dr. Dre.
A barbecue in this house right here. I met Dre for the first time. Back there, he heard me rhyme. The rest is not only history, but it's the future.
We became real close friends. We started hanging out a lot. What he would do is come up to the spots that I was DJing and MC sometimes.
In 1986, Dre introduced Cube to his childhood friend, Eric Eazy-E Wright. He was a former crack dealer who wanted to become a music manager.
Before I was doing records, I was into everything myself, and the gangs, the drug situation, everything.
Eazy, you know, I looked up to him in a lot of ways because he was progressively trying to figure out how to make it and how to better his situation.
Impressed by his writing, Eazy asked Cube to write a song for a group of New York rappers he was managing called HBO.
And brought it back to Dre and everybody, and they all was in there. I rapped it to him. And HBO was like, can't rap that. He talking about 6'4" Chevys, ganking people. We from Queens. We don't know about this.
Dr. Dre turned to Eazy, who had never rapped before, and asked him to try recording it.
Cause the boys in the hood are always hard. You come talking to trash, we'll pull your guard. Knowing nothing in life but to be legit. Don't quote me, boy, cause I ain't said.
And when he learned to rhyme, Eazy-E was born. And then Cube was introduced as a rider.
Boys in the Hood became a big local hit, injecting a fresh perspective into hip-hop and almost single-handedly creating the genre of gangsta rap.
The fellas out there making that dollar. I pulled up in my 6'4".
When I first heard Boys in the Hood, I was like, somebody speaking for us. That was something I was like, whoa, we got something here.
LA gangs wasn't the topic that you heard a lot about in the late 80s, but they brought that to the forefront.
Little did he know I had a loaded 12 gauge. One sucker did LA Times front page.
We started looking at this as our niche. We had the hottest record on the street, and people wanted more.
By 1988, MC Ren and DJ Yella had joined Dre, Easy, and Cube, forming a group of local hip-hop all-stars. They chose a name designed to stir controversy.
You know, what we gonna call this group? And I was like, what? It's the NWA. Like, what that mean? Niggas with attitudes. I just fell out. I said, I love it. I said, hell yeah. Black people taking that word and trying to use it instead of getting abused by it.
Coming up, Ice Cube's rant against the police strikes a nerve.
Here was a way where you take all that pain, frustration, put it on a song and scream it.
And then Cube walks away from NWA.
Everyone was telling him, oh, you left the biggest group ever. You made a mistake. You a fool.
When Behind the Music continues.
Boys in the Hood are always hard. You come talking that trash, we'll pull your car.
In 1988, 18-year-old Ice Cube was a member of NWA, an all-star group led by a Compton drug dealer turned rapper named Eazy-E.
Yo, I'm Eazy.
And we're NWA.
Say Compton to the house.
Warren, say hello to Eazy. Hold on.
Hello?
Eazy had formed Ruthless Records with veteran manager Jerry Heller, who believed he had found the next big thing after hearing their demos.
I just thought the power of it was something that was a lot different than anything I had heard before.
I felt like he was this white dude that was pretending to love us. If you wanted to put a picture of shady management, here's the picture.
Despite his misgivings about their management, Ice Cube headed into the studio with NWA in March of 1988, where they spent 6 weeks at $8,000 recording Straight Outta Compton.
You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
Released by Priority Records in August of '88, the album changed the face of hip-hop.
Straight Outta Compton, it's a crazy brother named Ice Cube from the stupid dope gang with an attitude.
It was a group that was rapping about stuff that we all knew and we were living.
So when I'm in your neighborhood, you better duck down, cause Ice Cube, a damn show, fuck him down. As I leave, believe I'm starving, but when I come back, boy, I'm coming straight out of Compton.
Ice Cube brought that voice of aggression, you know, of that anger.
Easy is his name and the voice coming.
Straight Outta Compton.
Everybody else was making this popcorn music, and we just came from the streets, and people just like, wow.
When you think of NWA, you just think of the truth.
That's the way it goes in the city of Compton, boy.
But at the time, mainstream America couldn't handle the truth. First, their video was banned from MTV.
MTV can't handle it.
Due to what the network called violent content.
They play a lot of rock and roll, you know what I'm saying, with the satanic stuff. And the Madonna, she can get on there half naked. And when they see something real, they want to ban it.
Ice Cube, take the motherfucking stand.
And the controversy was only beginning.
So help your black ass.
You goddamn right.
The album's most volatile track, written by Ice Cube, was a searing indictment of police brutality in the inner city.
The police coming straight from the underground. A young nigga got it bad cause I'm brown.
When the police came out, that was how we felt.
They ain't talking about all police, man, but there's bad police out there.
They have the authority to kill a minority. Know that it's cause I ain't the one for a punk with a badge and a gun to be beaten on.
People were getting killed by the police. They were getting beat by the police. There were no repercussions.
Here was a way where you take all that pain, frustration, put it on a song and scream it.
It's gonna be a bloodbath of cops dying in LA. Yo, Dre, I got something to say.
The song sparked an outcry from conservative critics.
These people aren't doing anything but capitalizing off of death and violence.
police.
The FBI took an extreme measure, sending a letter to Priority Records, accusing NWA of encouraging violence against law enforcement.
And the FBI has your name. You know you making a difference.
Like, whoa, okay. We touched a nerve. Now let's see what else we can do.
And then everything just exploded from there.
With little radio airplay or video exposure, Straight Outta Compton went gold in 4 weeks, eventually selling 3 million copies.
The critics, they talk about the group all they want. We're going to keep doing what we're doing because people like it.
By the summer of 1989, Ice Cube and NWA had become unlikely pop stars.
How hard-boiled are these guys? Well, the initials stand for with attitude.
MTV was forced to jump on the bandwagon.
Yo, I'm Eazy-E.
And we're NWA.
Chilling out with NWA in Compton. What's up, y'all?
Give us Straight Outta Compton. That's the Ice Cube from the gang. Yo, with attitude.
NWA launched a national tour, and the road became a paradise of partying and women.
Yo, well, you can't with me. So whenever you neighborhood, you better go. Cause Ice Cube is crazy.
Just everything. Guns, weed, to women.
What's the best thing that's been happening at the party so far? We just got here a little late.
Women!
Back then it was just, anything goes.
Like Rams on the gangster tip, Straight Outta Compton.
But while the other band members were getting wild, Ice Cube found himself turning into a one-woman man. That summer, he met Kimberly Woodruff, and the two soon began dating.
It was just kind of like we were looking for each other all this time.
He felt like, okay, this is someone who has my back, and she's going to always have my back.
Cube would need the support as he entered into a financial dispute with NWA and manager Jerry Heller. By mid-'89, Cube claimed he had received only $32,000 in royalties.
He just didn't feel that he was getting a fair share for what he was contributing to the success of those records.
Success changed your life at all? I mean, have you gone out and bought a Mercedes yet, or?
Nah, man. I still got me a little Jeep. I'm at my mother's house.
I think that he got what someone at his stage of his career would have gotten.
At a crossroads, Cube turned to the one person he could trust.
I didn't know if I was going to leave or I was going to stay. And Kim, she was like, believe in yourself and your ability. And we'll roll whatever happened after that.
In late 1989, Ice Cube decided to leave NWA and go solo. The breakup led to bitterness.
We were looking at him at the time like, you turning your back on the group.
That was the last I seen of him for years.
How have things changed since Ice Cube left?
Better.
Yeah, it got better, for real. Because there ain't no ego trips in the group anymore.
I just realized there's no way to keep this friendship together if the business went so sour.
Coming up, Cube becomes America's most wanted.
It's just pornographic smut.
Some women want to act like bitches and hoes. What else you gonna call them?
And then, Ice Cube's movie career nearly ends before it begins.
He sucked. It was just so bad.
I'm thinking like, I'm totally unqualified for this.
When Behind the Music continues. In 1989, Ice Cube walked away from NWA at the height of their success over a financial dispute.
I think we all thought, okay, he's done.
Everyone was telling him, oh, you left the biggest group ever, and you made a mistake, you a fool.
I had to break, man, because I'd rather start from scratch, man, than build something, man, and it come crumbling down.
Cube had to prove he could stand on his own. So he recruited Public Enemy producers, the Bomb Squad, as co-conspirators. And he flew to New York in late '89 to record his solo debut.
Nobody gets there until
he ain't got no audio.
He had a lot to prove. He had a lot of baggage, and he had a lot of pressure.
He came to our spot with 8 composition books full of rhymes and lyrics and songs and ideas. This was incredible.
I've never seen anybody so committed. I mean, he came into my studio and slept on the floor for 3 days.
I wanted to not just rap, but rap about stuff. that was real.
Yo, this sounds
We out. It's gonna be dope. We out.
Released on May 16th, 1990, America's Most Wanted was a funky dispatch from the front lines of the inner city, filled with dark humor and brutal honesty.
Is there some brother in a big hat thinking he can get any girl with a good rap?
It's pure, unadulterated Cube. It's playful, it's funny, it's dangerous.
Who's the Mac? Is it that fool that's in the club accent? Have you ever been in a hot tub?
This record was the street's favorite record.
Don't try to apprehend him.
Ice Cube took you on a journey, and if you were unaware, now when you ride through the hood, you understand now.
It's time to take a trip to the suburbs. Let them see an invasion. Point blank on a Caucasian.
I'm America's Most Wanted by the system because they don't want me doing what I'm doing. And I'm America's Most Wanted by the fans because they down with what I'm doing.
The first single shot to the top of the rap charts, and the album went platinum in 3 months.
And I still taunted every motherfucker with a color is most wanted.
But Cube's explicit R-rated lyrics enraged women's groups.
I'm all for freedom of speech, but when stuff like this, I think that's crossing the line.
It's just pornographic smut.
You who the f*** you think you are calling girls bitches? You ain't all that. That's all I am. Bitch. I ain't nobody's bitch.
Cube was unapologetic, claiming he was just keeping it real.
If you don't act like the record says, you shouldn't get offended.
I don't give a f*** about dissing these fools because they all scared of the Ice Cube.
Some women want to act like bitches and hoes. They got to be put in that category. What else you gonna call them?
While Cube was under fire from women's groups, privately he was dedicated to his girlfriend, Kim Woodruff, whom he'd been dating for 2 years.
She's just the perfect woman, friend, confidant, partner.
Cube and Kim got engaged in 1990, and she gave birth to their first son, O'Shea Jr., in February of 91.
When you have a baby, you have to make sure they have a chance to be successful. That's your job.
And Cube took that responsibility all too seriously, especially when it came to financial dealings with his label, Priority Records.
My son was 5 days old, and I was expecting in advance so I could buy a new house for my family, and I got a bull excuse on why it wasn't coming down the pipe.
That was kind of a misunderstanding we had, and we didn't quite communicate as well as we should have.
So Cube let his baseball bat do the talking.
I went up there with a bat and just tore up the office. There was a lot of glass everywhere. I had a few of the homies with me, and it was just ugly. I had an aluminum bat. It was bent when I left.
He did me a huge favor by basically destroying the television and forced me to get a new TV, which he'd been bugging me to do for years.
Cube got the advance, and a few weeks later, he got some more good news. A first-time director named John Singleton wanted to cast him in his movie Boys in the Hood, which was inspired by Cube's seminal street anthem.
He's like, yo, you perfect for it. I'm thinking like, you know, I'm totally unqualified for this, bro.
And when it came time for his audition, Cube's acting career nearly ended before it started.
My manager said, yo, these pages came in. You read tomorrow. All right. Took the pages, folded them up, put them in my back pocket. Never looked at them.
We sat him down, he read it and everything, and it's like, he sucked. I said, you didn't read this, did you? He says, no, I didn't read it, I've been touring. And I said, man, you gotta go read this. Just go read the script and come back.
So when I read it, I'm like, oh, they're about to do a movie about how we grew up. I'm perfect for this.
What do you think of Doughboy?
Doughboy's, he's high. I know a lot of guys like him. You know, that live around my block. So, you know, this whole script kind of hits home after you read the whole thing, you know.
And so he came in and he started doing his thing.
See me, I get more than you probably get Ed with your wannabe Mac Daddy ass.
He was Doughboy.
Yo, mo, what you say that?
Domino, mother. Say about that.
I was just like, whoa, this is gonna be a good movie.
Released in July of 1991, Boys in the Hood became a cinematic landmark and turned Ice Cube into a movie star.
Turn your punk ass off.
the ease in which he kind of exhibited movie star charisma and held the screen like a where have you been? Like, you know, you should have been acting for years.
Either they don't know, don't show, or don't care about what's going on in the hood.
It was a great experience, man, and I just wanted to do more movies. It's hard to match a classic like Boys in the Hood, but, you know, we're going to keep trying.
Coming up, Cube says goodbye to an old friend.
We talked for hours, and we was talking about putting the group back together, and that was the last time I seen him alive.
When Behind the Music continues. In 1991, Ice Cube was at the top of the rap game. His solo debut had gone platinum.
So how's it going now? Everything's straight, platinum.
But as a new father, he was searching for a deeper meaning in life. He began to look into the Nation of Islam, a spiritual movement that aspires to improve the social and economic conditions of minorities in America.
This was a whole different approach of, we in it together, we got to get out of it together. You have to try to live the right way. That turned me on.
Though he never joined the Nation of Islam, Cube did eventually become a Muslim, and he applied a new, more political perspective to his second solo album, Death Certificate, which focused on the plight of the inner city.
It's all about our situation. If we don't change our situation, we might as well sign our own death certificate already.
I became a person who thirsts knowledge and tried to seek it out, and I realized some of these things should be said in the music.
Stop selling out your race and wipe that stupid looking smile off your face.
Cube's lyrical point of view became more attuned to social issues and political injustice.
Cube kind of started making the transition from being gangster rapper to gangster politician.
You only got yourself to blame. Get a grip, Oreo, and be true to the game.
He turned around from being, you know, the cat that was always with the gangster and coming on saying, yo, let's look at how we living right now.
That's how we doing it in 92. Full. Be true to the game.
Do you think you set a good example for the young people today? Well, I think I do, because I speak the truth. I tell the real deal.
I'm gonna treat you like king. What king? Like Martin Luther King, like Rodney King, like all the kings from Africa.
Los Angeles was a powder keg of emotion when Death Certificate was released in October 1991. The Rodney King beating was still an open wound, and racial tensions were rising. On April 29, 1992, the 4 police officers charged in the Rodney King beating were acquitted.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Stacey C. Kuhn, not guilty.
Jury is found you guilty of being a redneck, white bread chicken.
I was like, damn, I thought we had come so much further than that.
By having this verdict, what these people have done, they lit the fuse to a bomb.
Los Angeles erupted into 3 days of violent rioting, causing $1 billion in damage and 55 deaths.
This is a frustration with an injustice, and there was no other way to vent the frustration.
These cops beat this man on camera, and you telling us that they're justified. That's what made the riots jump off.
He looked like a prophet after the riots. He told you it was coming.
Every major news organization was banging down the door trying to ask, like, how did you know?
I just want to say, you know, can we all get along?
I didn't have nothing nice to say. You know, I didn't have that can we all get along speech at that time in me. I was pretty much witty.
Burned by the criticism of his hardcore rhymes, Ice Cube decided to tone down the rhetoric on his next release, 1992's The Predator.
Is it a good day?
So far.
So far, so good.
Today I didn't even have to use my AK. I gotta say it was a good day.
It Was a Good Day was a remarkable shift for Ice Cube. The single found its way onto mainstream radio and became his highest-charting pop hit.
Even saw the lights of the Goodyear blimp, and it read Ice Cube's a pimp.
I had people in my camp saying, you can't do that record. You do hardcore gangster rap. that record is talking about a good day. I said, well, you know, that happens too. You know, the neighborhood ain't a war zone.
Cause nobody I know got killed in South Central LA. Today was a good day.
The song also reflected the good vibes in Cube's personal life.
When you live in this so-called American dream, I did want to celebrate a little bit and say, hey, you know, this is what it's all about.
And everything is all right. I got a beat from Kim, and she could do it all night.
In 1992, he married fiancée Kim Woodruff, the mother of his young son.
She's the perfect person for him because she balances him out so. Very wise woman, very kind.
If it really wasn't for her, I don't know if I'd be sitting here today as the man I am.
As Cube settled into marriage and fatherhood, he was hoping to put an end to his beef with NWA. An opportunity arose in 1994 when he ran into Eazy-E in a New York club.
We talked for hours, and we was talking about putting the group back together. The club ended up closing, and we both stranded. Cavs wasn't picking us up, and he started walking, and that was the last time I seen him alive.
4 months later, Eric Eazy-E Wright died due to complications from AIDS. He was 31 years old.
Eric Wright went onto life support on the 15th of March. He was under heavy sedation and unconscious at the time of his death.
Cube chose not to attend the public funeral. He says he did not want to say goodbye to Eazy that way.
I feel good that I didn't see him laid up in the hospital, and I didn't see him laid up in the casket. I like the vision of him walking away, you know what I mean, with the New York City backdrop. That to me is a better goodbye than seeing him laid up.
Coming up, Ice Cube becomes a major Hollywood mogul.
You either gotta have it or you don't, you know what I'm saying? And not having to have it.
There's very few people get to do that in Hollywood, actually hold the reins and control what it is that you're doing.
Oh, man, I'm tripping.
When Behind the Music continues. By the age of 25, Ice Cube had achieved massive success as an actor and rapper.
So what you gonna do when you get out of jail? I'm gonna have some fun with the popcorn.
He had released 3 platinum albums.
3, much more Ice Cube coming with the half.
And appeared in a string of hit movies, including John Singleton's Boys in the Hood.
I got bit by the bug, and John was like, it's gonna be hard for you to find something like Boys in the Hood unless you probably write it yourself. So I'm like, whoa, what?
He would ask me, how do you write a script? And I was like, man, you know, you write songs, you can write a script.
Took the Boys in the Hood script, saw the format, and just started trying to write a script.
In 1994, Cube crafted a comedic screenplay about a group of friends in South Central and pitched it to New Line Cinema.
Immediately, you roll your eyes and go, oh, another actor is writing a script. And then the guy just came in and just told a great story.
Released in April of 1995, Friday, starring Cube and Chris Tucker, became a monster hit and established the snarling rapper's comedic skills.
What's up?
Are you high?
Huh?
Are you high?
Oh, why you say that?
Because you look like you've been smoking.
What the?
I remember reading the script. I'm like, oh my God, this is so funny. This is so silly. This is so real.
Oh, man, I'm tripping.
People saw Boys in the Hood, people saw South Central and all these things that was just showing that. It's like, damn, y'all act like we lived in the pit of hell. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like that. We cried, but we laughed more than we cried.
Made for just $3 million, Friday grossed 10 times that.
Hey, get over here, please.
Suddenly, Ice Cube was a legitimate Hollywood player.
That's when Hollywood said he is someone who can act, he can, write, he can do all of this.
Cube used his clout wisely. He made his directorial debut in The Players Club, starred in the critically acclaimed Three Kings.
You either gotta have it or you don't, you know what I'm saying? And not having to have it.
And then founded his own production company called Cube Vision.
You see Cube Vision, I wanted to be hands-on, really my vision.
The company scored with the Friday sequels and the smash hit Barbershop.
Who drank my goddamn apple juice?
Oh, Terry, stop cussing. This ain't Def Comedy Jam. Tried to show a candid look at, you know, at a little crack in the world that people don't usually get a chance to see, but so much action happens there.
This is the barber shop, the place where a black man means so. Cornerstone neighborhood.
He is very clever on the choices of the movies he makes. There's very few people get to do that in Hollywood, actually hold the reins and control what it is that you're doing.
As he fast-tracked his way through the movie business, Cube was still making time for his first love, music. On 2000's War and Peace Volume 2, he reunited with his NWA bandmates Dr. Dre and MC Ren on the track Hello.
I started these gangster hits. You mean to tell me this the thanks I get? The mother world is a ghetto. Full of magazines, full of clips and heavy metal in a smoke cell.
The reformed NWA headlined the Up in Smoke tour, with Snoop Dogg filling in for Eazy-E.
I'm just gonna go up there and do my part and support the movement.
We feel like family out here, you know, once again, unfortunately without my man Eazy-E, but he's damn sure looking down on this and saying, yo, this is how I wanted y'all to do.
They call me the Don Dada, pop a collar, drop a dollar. If you hear me, you can holler.
There was talk of recording a new album, but ultimately they decided there could be no NWA without Eazy.
I think we all collectively decided to put it to bed that without Eazy, nobody would really accept this as NWA.
Coming up, an Ice Cube for the next generation.
And the controversy was the fact that I did a movie for kids. Like, I can't do a damn movie for some little badass kids.
When Behind the Music continues. Watch extended interview clips and more from this episode at behindthemusic.vh1.
DJ Crazy Tunes, are you having a good mother time?
Over the span of 2 decades, Ice Cube has gone from inner city rebel to Hollywood player. But Cube's most enduring role has been as the father of his 4 kids, OMG, Doughboy, Karima, and Sharif.
Yay, just waking up in the morning, gotta thank God. I don't know, but today seems kinda odd.
I think I am firm but fair. You know, I'm always give fatherly advice.
I even saw the lights of the Goodyear blimp, and it read, hey.
From somebody who grew up in South Central, you know, that didn't necessarily have a lot, to an empire, he's the best person to have raised you.
Put your piece under the air like this, and wave from side to side. Hold it there. We come in peace, y'all.
In 2005, Cube channeled his experience as a dad into his most surprising career move yet.
You got somebody bothering you at school or something?
He's an asthmatic in the accelerated program. What do you think?
He produced and starred in the family-friendly blockbuster.
Try this. It's foolproof.
Are we there yet?
No. Check the lip. Check the lip. Man, do not take my lunch money.
He's more like a little rougher than Are We There Yet? He doesn't go for as much BS.
And the controversy was the fact that I did a movie for kids. Like, I can't do a damn movie for some little badass kids. That's funny.
With a successful sequel and a spin-off series on TV, Ice Cube is now being introduced to an entirely new generation of fans.
Ice Cube transformed from, the toughest gangster rapper to, kind, friendly. He could do a Jell-O commercial right now. I was sure of it.
He went from, the end that you love to hate to sort of the Bill Cosby of this generation.
It's my town. I run it. You walk it. You just now learning the game.
Cube did it on his own. He did everything by himself because he knew that his instincts were better than anybody else's.
I think I've been able to balance artist and entertainer and still give the people what I want, but be myself.
Cube's now giving his kids a leg up in the business. His oldest sons, Doughboy and OMG, join him on his new record and perform with him on tour.
They've been around music all their life. What I love about them is they go and do their own music. They don't just wait for me. And they're good. They're damn good, man.
He he told us one night, you don't know how happy I am to be up here with you two. So, you know, it means a lot to him.
But after more than 2 decades in the game, Ice Cube insists he is just getting warmed up.
He tells us there's no reason for him to retire as long as he has a tongue in his mouth. As long as I can still speak my thoughts, why stop?
It ain't gonna stop, Cube. It don't stop. I'm letting y'all know. I know I'm better than a lot of y'all out there. It ain't gonna stop. We love being up close and personal with the fans, and it is what it is.
I got a lot to do. I'm barely halfway through my career. Barely.
I'm a monster. West Side Loch Ness, I'm a problem.
My to-do list is always to get better at everything. I can be a better father, husband, brother, son, rapper, actor, producer, writer. You know, if I do that, everything hopefully will take care of itself.
Thanks for coming to rock with your boy Ice Cube. We love you, forever and a day, baby. One more time before we get out of here, let me hear you. Oh, yeah. Peace, we love you.